Let f of x equal x squared plus 6x plus 5. We would like to express this function in vertex form. In other words, we'd like to write this as a times x plus, minus, minus h squared, and then plus k. To do that, when we're given this form here, we need to complete the square. So the process of completing the square, we have our x squared plus 6x plus 5. If there is not a leading coefficient in front of the x squared, then all we do is we take the number in front of the x term, and we're going to divide that by 2. Okay, divide it by 2. And that's what we're going to put in the parentheses with x. Okay, so the positive 6 divided by 2 is positive 3. Okay, and that's going to be squared. And then what you do is you keep your you keep this plus 5. Okay, that doesn't go anywhere. But then you are always going to subtract this number squared, and then if there was a number in front of here, you would multiply by that. So we're going to subtract here 3 squared. And that is the process of completing the square. Then we can just simplify a little bit. We've got our x plus 3 squared, and this is plus 5 minus 9. So that's minus 4. So there's our vertex form for this quadratic. Next, we want to use that to find the vertex and the x and y intercepts of f. So for the vertex, we just look at our hk. Remember, hk is the vertex. So looking at this form and comparing it up here, we see h is negative 3. Okay, it's going to be the opposite sign of what's here. So h is negative 3, okay, and then k is that number out here. So that's going to be negative 4. For the x and y intercepts, we can get those in multiple ways. For the x-intercepts, we actually prefer a factored form of the function. And so I'm going to go right here, my x squared plus 6x plus 5. I'm going to factor that. And that is x plus 5 and x plus 1. And so if that's equal to 0, that's how we get our x-intercepts. We get x equals negative 5 or negative 1. Okay, so our x-intercepts are the point negative 5, 0 and the point negative 1, 0. For our y-intercept, this is super easy. The y-intercept is always, you just plug 0 into the function. And for a quadratic, that means it always ends up being this number out here. Okay, and so we're just going to have 0 is the x value, and then y is 5. Okay, and then we would like to sketch the graph of f. So we can plot everything that we know. We know the vertex is at negative 3, negative 4. So here we have negative 1, 2, and 3, and then down 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we've got our x-intercepts at negative 5, which is right here, and at negative 1, that's right here. And we have our y-intercept up at 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now we can connect these points as a parabola. So and again, you don't have to be super precise, but going through those points, the vertex, you should be good. And then finally, we want to find the domain and range of our function. So the domain clearly is all real numbers. There's no restrictions on what we can plug in here. And so our domain here is all real numbers. And for the range, we see from the graph that our range is everything from negative 4 up, because that's where our vertex is. And so we have from negative 4 to infinity.